Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and today we are back with another action figure review. Of course, as you can see, we've got the Elite Series 115 Kairi Sane. The last review we did just review this bad boy here. Gonna show him off real quick because I did swap the knee pads out. And now, I'm not gonna even lie, this kick pad, now that I kinda had to hot water treat it to get the knee pads on there, it moves a lot better, oddly enough. So I don't know what it is about that, but the kick pad is no longer loose on that CM Punk, which you could almost say that bumped it up to like a 8 to a solid 4 out of 5 stars. And with the 8, it's 8 out of 10. Either way, if you did pay attention to that, you would know. Anywho, let's get into this Kairi Sane figure review as we get in on this second rare figure in this wave, as Tyler Bate and Kairi Sane are both two people who have only ever had two figures in elite form, and I don't think either person has had a basic figure at all either. R-Truth has had plenty of elites, and same thing with The Rock, though The Rock has not had as many as you would think he has had, at least not modern day Rock, and that is actually the final boss Rock, for those of you who don't know. But, speaking of that though, just, mentioning, I guess we could turn it back around real quick. So this marks the fact that we have Punk, Tyler Bate, and Kairi Sane. I do have one more figure review from this line, but who will it be? Will it be Truth? Will it be Drew? Or will it be Rock? You'll just have to wait and see. And with all that being said, let's break Kairi Sane out of her plastic prison now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys, now that we have Kairi Sane out of her plastic prison, we can get into her action figure accessories. Though, realistically, she does not have a whole lot. We can get into those, as she does have two different sets of hands, which I do, oddly enough, I do have a problem with these hands. And these are the mic holding hands, which aren't really as noticeable, I guess you could say, but I'm sure you can pick up some glove texturing there. And especially around that thumb, you can see where the glove mold is definitely supposed to end. They gave Kairi Sane Alexa Bliss hands and just painted them in skin tone. And as you can see, it looks pretty atrocious up close. So that is already a big L for this figure. Though I am still enjoying the way it looks overall. You also have the spirally fan here, so if she twirls it down the entranceway, it'll look pretty cool. And maybe you want to spin an umbrella for whatever reason, you can do that too. It is pretty nice feeling in hand. The plastic doesn't just fold, not fold, but it doesn't warp, and the umbrella itself has some pretty nice textures to it. It's a softer rubber, so it is a tad bit more flexible, but I still would not recommend you try to crumple it and fold it in your hand or whatever, but that's besides the point. Now let's get into the Kairi Sane figure herself. First things first, you've got the really good head scan. Now, I don't have the original Elite figure, so I could not tell you exactly what that looks like, and if this is a new head scan, it has to be. But all the different colors between the light purple here, you've got the pink, the green, the little bits of brown in her hair, which I want to say is her natural hair color. Super nice, super effective. And then you get into the face itself. She has that little bit of pink around her eye. I can't tell if she's wearing any lip gloss or whatever. But if you also look underneath the head scan, if I can get the hair to fold up just a tad bit, I really can't get it to do what I need it to do, which is alright. But I want to say on the other one, because in a sense, yes, I did pick up 2 of these. I got one for my girlfriend, and she opened hers up already because she wanted a Kairi Sane figure, so I said, fuck it, if you really want one, why not get you one? Either way, the other eye does have the same makeup effect, so that is always something to take in effect there. Now her attire, you have this waist wrap that goes up the front of her and around her neck, and it is kind of removable. I'm sure if you took the time you could remove it, though I am not going to. I just figured if you keep it low enough on the waist down here, it'll blend in well enough. And not just that, but it'll actually keep this front piece from warping forward like it was doing on my girlfriend's. But it all is a fairly nice sculpt, but you see what I mean there, as my hand did kind of like force it to come up, but that's whatever. Taking a deeper look, you do have a lot of nice designing, a lot of nice designs on this top here, a lot of different sculpts and stuff of that nature. As like on the back here, you can feel like the little individual jewels and stuff, except for up here on the upper shoulders. You've got the armbands up here, well, the upper armbands, and then you've got the lower armbands. If my camera would focus, there we go. On this arm though in particular, you get the pirate ship wheel on the elbow pad, as she does call herself the pirate, if I recall correctly. I'm not exactly too sure, I can't lie to you, as I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a Kairi Sane match, but she always hits that insane elbow with this elbow pad there. Anywho, making your way down a bit lower on the figure, you've got this red line that goes towards the front, which also does have some silver details on it, if you didn't notice that. You've also got the pirate ship wheel, again I want to say, down here on the trunks, which this also kind of shows you that it should be like sculpted onto the trunks or the shorts here, because this design does tie in with this red string thing here. And you've got this little blue, green, and red rag here. A lot of nice designs. You've got the knee pads and the like knee-high socks, I guess you could say. The knee pads have tassels on them. They're not posable or flimsy. They're pretty nice. I can't complain. I do like the way they look. And the thing I'm most excited for, the boots here, as the kick pads, they do have a nice design. The one boot does have the Kairi Sane. I did check the other boot just in case, but I'm sure you also notice there's no pin in these joints, right? You've got, well, this one's a little stiff on here, but there we go. You've got the standard ankle articulation right there, along with the boot being able to rotate. So the women's figures, boot-wise, have finally been fixed. And if you don't know what I am potentially talking about there, let's take Dakota Kai for an example here. Another member of Damage Control. She's got that little pin in her ankle there, which does not allow for the best articulation, and a lot of times it does end up becoming fairly loose to where said figures will not stand, but that's whatever. At the end of the day, she is moving around really well. She's posing around fairly well, and I think this might be one of my top tier women's figures, depending on if I can get this waist thing to stop being flimsy on her. Of course, it may not, but we'll have to see when we get her in the final pose. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got Kairi Sane all posed up in her final pose alongside the rest of Damage Control, we can definitely say that this is probably one of the better women's figures that have come out, especially because they fix the basic boot mold problem that has been plaguing women's elites for the longest time now. And I'm honestly grateful for that, because it makes me interested to actually try to get that Becky Lynch from a few waves prior. And that's just because if the boot mold problem is fixed on that Becky, then it may be kind of a cop just to grow the women's collection up a tad bit more, as, well, I don't have all that many women's figures, though. I feel like I'd have a decent little collection right now to maybe run a little women's roster for a major women's championship, but I don't have nearly half the many divas or women's figures, depending on what era you grew up in, compared to male talent, as I can't really say there was a whole lot of women's figures back in the day worth getting. Now they're actually making them really good. They're starting to become on par with the men's figures, and I am excited to see where we can go in the future with that. But of course, with that being said, I did want to add in one more note before we head into the Meltzer rating and all that stuff, is that this figure has absolutely no issue posing her legs. I tested them out off camera, to be honest, and they pose around super well. Same thing with good old CM Punky over here, holding the modern World Heavyweight Championship in the Royal Rumble return gear. They are starting to pose around a tad bit better now, so I'm kind of hoping we can keep that going for the foreseeable future, but you never know. With modern day Mattel, I guess, they're keeping you on your toes, aren't they? Well, I guess on the star rating scale, we can say that, well, on the scale of 1 to 10, first and foremost, I am definitely going to give this figure a good solid 8.5. For a woman who has only ever had 2 wrestling figures within the WWE company, I honestly, I'm happy I can say I own one out of those 2 figures. Maybe one day I will track down the original Kairi Sane, the Pirate of the Sea, but I don't know if we will ever see that original Pirate Kairi. Anyway, we gave her the 8.5. Now, on the, the Meltzer rating, the 1 to Young Buck match, because we don't break the star scale here. I gave him an 8.5, right? So she definitely should be getting a at least solid 4, maybe 4.25 out of 5 stars. And that's what we're going to run with, is the 4.25 out of 5 stars, as this is a really excellent figure. Only thing that definitely degrades the points here would be the interchangeable hands, as I hate how they're the Alexa Bliss glove mold, but just with her wrist gauntlet things painted on over them. But I think that's enough said, not to quote the great Stan Lee, but I don't really have much else to say. So if you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you did not like the video, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, feel free to go check out some of my other content. We do have some good news, as it was a little bit later than intended, but we do have the episode 13 of Chaos Theory out, and on top of that, we didn't gain the subscriber back, but either way, just to show you, we are still sitting at 337 subs. So, if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe, and I would gratefully appreciate it, as we are on the route to 350 subs, and of course beyond that. But next big goal is 350 subs, and will we hit that by springtime? Only God will know. But hopefully we can rack in a little bit of views with episode 13, along with some of these action figure reviews. But on top of that, like I was saying, feel free to go check out any video. But on top of that, sorry for the little camera joke there. But on top of that, subscribe. Maybe go follow me on Instagram. And realistically, with all that being said, keep your eye out for the second review, as we will be doing that here shortly. And hopefully the room will be somewhat enough remodeled to where I can start kind of start rearranging the toy room a little bit, as when we first moved in here, there was a hole in the wall over on the other end of the room, and kind of use that as the backstage area. But I'm kind of thinking of doing things a tad bit differently now, and kind of need that hole patched up and stuff. But enough said. As I did mention earlier, have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone. But if I were, would I be enjoying my time? I don't know. Either way, we're signing out of here. So, deuces, oozes, yeet.